I first started probably when I was pretty young because I was raised vegan. I used to write poetry and make drawings about things I was angry about with how animals were treated. Probably quite bad ones back then, but I work with pencil and watercolour and rough it out. And yeah, I use sort of mixed media approach to make the final artwork. Really inspired by animal rights and also feminism and sort of social justice in general. This is a children's book that I wrote and illustrated while I was at uni. It's about a little girl called Hazel. She's very compassionate and can understand the emotions of other animals and feel their pain. So she is very affected by sort of feeling their suffering, and one night she goes and saves them from, so she saves one chicken from a chicken farm, interrupts a hunt and does some stabbing and saves a fox. She saves some fish from a trawler net as well. So it's sort of encouraging children to empathise with non-human animals who aren't just cats and dogs, and to, I suppose, basically understand veganism, but in a more subtle way. And at the end she's very sad, and she's pleased that she saved the animals, but she feels like she should be doing more for the animals who she's left behind. I suppose it's about being proud of what you can do and understanding that you can't change the world, but you can change the world for these animals. There's sort of the overwhelming massiveness of what's happening to animals, but it's about doing what you can. A really positive one is like a large print of this one actually that I sold at an exhibition. She bought the print and said she was never going to eat fish again, and this was to remind her not to eat fish. So that was obviously a really lovely thing to think that was going off into the world and affecting change. This one was for an article I wrote. It's called Time to be Weaned, and it's about should we be drinking cow's milk. You can see that my answer to that is no. Sort of just to demonstrate how completely unnatural and absurd it is, and highlighting the exploitation of the female reproductive system. So there's the calf over here who's been taken away, and just the strangeness of it all, that the calf should be drinking the milk and the mother is exploited and abused by the industry. I wrote my dissertation about sort of like the farm myth. Lots of children's books use this sort of imagery of Ronald on the farm and rosy-cheeked farmer, happy cows, there's no deaths ever, like all completely mythologised, and it presents farms to children as these benign environments. So my dissertation looked at uncovering the reality behind that, and how can we sort of champion books that show children the reality of farming, and without necessarily showing them all of it and the awful side of it. How can we be honest with children about where their food comes from? So it's definitely my way of communicating that anger that I have about how things are for animals and for other people. Yeah, it's definitely a form of activism. So I'm really inspired by Carol Adams' work. She wrote The Sexual Politics of Meat, amongst other really good books, and she links ideas between how women are treated and how animals are treated. This is for an article I wrote about non-human consent. So I was at a really busy event, and there's dogs everywhere at this event, and as people went past this dog, they were just stroking him as they went past, and loads of people did this, and I just thought, really annoying being that dog and just being touched by, like, strangely without being asked by strangers that you don't know. And it sort of led me to think about what if we applied ideas of sort of human consent and sort of feminist ideas of consent, what if we applied them to non-human animals, and what would that look like? How can we do it so that they are being touched on their terms, and so that we're sort of having an interaction rather than just doing what we want and getting what we want from them. I was reading an article about breeding and just the horrible language that's used, so in breeding pigs the phrase used is stand for the man, to get them to stand still, and I just think there's so many crossovers between feminism and the ways we talk about women, the ways we talk about animals. I think it's key to me is sort of like uniting different groups and getting us to all work together against oppression. That sensitivity and the compassion, it takes away the egoism that can come with other forms of art, or art that always looks inwards. It's a very outward looking thing about how can we change things and how can we help others.